excited to make this video because this is one of my students' channels. We're currently at 35 million views in the past 48 hours. And because of the strategies we use and implemented on this channel, we are consistently getting above 4K days on this channel. Minimum is like looking around like 2K. And this is completely on YouTube Shorts. So in this video, I'm going to kind of explain a little bit about it. We're actually going to be interviewing the student soon. He just said he's not ready yet because he wants to hit consistent 2K days for the next month, right? So he's probably going to be around 60K a month when we do the interview, right? You guys will see it then. It's going to be pretty awesome. But let's actually talk about how we scale this channel up. So first thing you'll notice is we upload exactly 5 times per day. All right, uploading 5 times per day is very important. There's a lot of misconception around uploading 5 times per day. People say, okay, uploading 5 times per day is a waste of time because only one video gets pushed out. Look at the top creators and see what they are doing, right? When you upload 5 times per day, it gives YouTube enough breathing room to be able to push out your content. If you upload more than 5 times per day, let's say you upload 6 times per day, then YouTube does not push out your content as heavily. You can see here when we were uploading 6 times per day, we were only getting around 2K a day. We pushed to 5, and now we're getting around 4K a day. All right. The reason why is because YouTube has a testing period of around 2 hours. When YouTube sees you uploaded a video within 2 hours apart of each one, that's a 10-hour period for 5 videos. They just like it better. If they see over 6, they kind of mark it as slightly spam. Now, luckily, we didn't get marked in this scenario here, but regardless, you can see how well we pushed. Now, another thing you'll notice is if we go to the revenue here, we go down to RPM, our shorts revenue is 26 cents. And keep in mind, it's March 11th right now, right, January, February, yeah, March 11th. RPMs are not supposed to be this high, but there's a special reason why this RPM is so high, right? First of all, you can see here that the top geographic on our, demos here are United States, and then we have United Kingdom, and we have Canada up here as well. And actually, if you click on see more, you'll notice that we have like Germany, Australia, and Netherlands, Romania, all of these top ones here, right? These are all high-paying countries because advertisers are willing to spend more money on these videos because people convert better when you're seeing these countries. Now, how exactly did we get these high numbers? And also, if you look at it as well, we have a 60 to 40% ratio. It's not the best. If we got a 50-50, it'd be a little bit better. But you'll notice everyone's watching our videos are a little bit older. Okay, so here's what we do. First thing we do is we make sure to do English commentary. Now, I've said many times in other videos, hey, you don't want to do commentary. And the reason you don't want to do commentary, right, is because when you do commentary, you limit your reach. And that is true. You won't get, billions and billions of views like we do per month. Like if you guys don't know, we're currently running 42 channels. 6 or 7 of them actually got view bombed recently. So I wouldn't really say like they're accurately making me money every single month. It's more like 36 right now in total. But I mean, I have 42 active channels we're running at the moment, right? And what we do here is we have some channels at view max, right? And we have some channels at revenue max, right? For example, this would be an idea of a revenue maxing channel. English commentary helps us a lot because it increases the amount of people who watching our videos will be from those higher paying countries, and also it creates more engagement and emotion. So let's actually go over how emotion works and how you can use emotion to your advantage when you're making these videos. Right, so let's go to my board real quick. I'm gonna show you guys something. It's pretty eye-opening once you understand this perspective. Right. So this applies to anything. When you are making a video, I want you to imagine there is an emotion to time spectrum. Right, time being on the vertical and emotions being on the horizontal. I'm using math here. When you have more time, right? Oh wait. It's supposed to be flipped. Emotion is supposed to be here, and time is supposed to be here. All right. So when you have an emotion to time graph over the length of the video, let's say the video is 0 to 30 seconds long, right? If the video is 0 to 30 seconds long, you'll notice something like this, right? The emotion goes up because you have the first clip, and then you have a second clip here and third clip here, and this is what it's supposed to look like, right? Up and down emotions, kind of like a sine wave. Now, if we actually go to usually what your guys' videos look like, right? Usually you have like the emotion graph here. You have the time graph here. You have 0 to like 30 seconds. And this is what your videos look like, right? You have the hook, emotion, and it kind of flat lines. Maybe you do something else, lose some emotion, gain some emotion here. This is kind of what people's emotion graphs look like. And you'll notice something crazy, all right? If you take this emotion graph, and I'm not sure if you can actually flip it on my board, but if you take this emotion graph and you actually flipped it upside down, this is actually what your retention graph would look like. And you will notice something kind of crazy. So if you look at this emotion time graph, right, you'll notice if you actually take this, right, and you flip it upside down. I'm not trying to do something like weird like hypothesis. This is like actually how it works, right? If you flip this upside down, this is usually what people's retention graphs look like. But besides this ending here, right? Your emotion to time graph has a direct correlation with how long someone watches your video. All right, everyone here knows what an AVD is. An AVD stands for average view duration, right? The higher your AVD is, right, compared to your length of video, the more views you're going to get. And if you take AVD, you divide it by LOV, so average view duration divided by length of video, you will get your retention, right? So for example, if you have like a 30-second AVD on a 40-second video, right? If you just do 30 divided by 40, it's going to be 75%, and that's your retention, right? And then that's kind of what this looks like here. You'll see in your YouTube studio, like if you actually went to a video itself and you actually went to your analytics, scroll down here, this is your retention right here, right? Average view duration, and then you have your length of video. For example, this one's 52 seconds. So we take 47 divided by 52, and then boom, our retention in this video particularly is 90%. Now, why am I telling you all of this, and why is this important, right? It's important to understand how to manipulate emotion in your videos to be able to actually understand how to increase your average view duration. Because if you increase your average view duration, you increase your length of video. Or sorry, if you increase your average view duration, you have a better ratio to your length of video, which gets you pushed out, right? Swipe ratio is a whole nother story, and we can get into that in a second, but we need to talk about this first because this is so important, right? So how do we actually use emotion? I'm going to go over a couple of different niches, and I'm going to go over how to manipulate each emotion in each niche. So first of all, let's talk about ranking, all right? But first of all, if you guys are doing ranking already, great. Stop doing ranking without commentary. It's not monetizable anymore. You guys know how in the beginning of this video I said like I had like 6 to 7 of my channels recently got view bombed, and they're not really making me any more money anymore. I had some channels that were making me like $10,000 to $35,000 a month that just got completely view bombed. In January, we made $117,000 from all our YouTube automation channels. In February, we made 80, right? We lost around almost $40,000 of revenue because our ranking channels went down. None of them got terminated either. It was a view bomb because YouTube doesn't really like non-reformative ranking. But what they do love is ranking with commentary, right? So you'll notice that when you make videos, ranking videos with commentary involved, you will actually have a better AVD, a better swipe ratio, higher trust score, which we'll go over in a second, and then more push to the algorithm, which is also correlated to trust score. And we'll go over this in a second. So what can we do to actually manipulate emotion, which is the original question? When you are trying to manipulate emotion, you got to remember that what is emotion? I like defining terms. It's very important to understand what terms you're working with so you can actually figure out what to do with those terms. So what an emotion is, it's a change in something, right? For example, if I'm, let's say, at level 0 of emotion, so I'm not really feeling anything right now, and then I start laughing, ha 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 ha, right? What happens is I go from kind of feeling nothing to happy, or, you know, it's not funny. What that is a change. In science, when something reacts, it is a change. If water turns to ice, it is a change, right? Emotions are the same way. And this is how I quantify it, because a lot of people struggle with trying to articulate how do I convey, you know, changing an emotion. I try manipulating it or relating it to science, right? So if I see, like, for example, if I put a battery in and then I see a voltage, right, that is a change. The battery went from 0 volts to, you know, say 40 volts. Same thing goes here. Okay. So when we are looking at a change in emotion, let's say we go from normal bored, right? Let me make a bored face. Like bored. This is supposed to be a bored face, okay? To happy, right? This is a change in emotion. And if you go to these emotions, it gets a reaction of the viewer. And reactions is the actual key to making good content. If you don't get good reactions, you don't get good engagement, and you don't get pushed. That does not mean you need to have high comment ratios. It means you need to make the viewer feel something, right? I don't know how YouTube's algorithm exactly calculates it, but I've noticed this has worked across so many channels. And this is how we've been able to do it on this channel here. You know, and we have so many students that we take from like zero to like $35,000 a month, right? Just like this one right here. So when you are manipulating emotion with commentary especially, it makes it very ideal for YouTube to push out your video because they recognize that reactions are important. And that's going to become the next part of this video, which is what YouTube wants. YouTube wants three things, all right? YouTube wants three things. One, they want to keep people on their platform as long as possible, right? Because if people are on their platform as long as possible, people actually grow the business. Because remember, YouTube is a business, which goes into our second point. YouTube also wants to make as much money as possible, right? They want to make money. And lastly, they want the viewers to feel emotion. Now, let me give you a quick little secret that people don't tell you. When you have viewers feeling a stronger emotion, they are more likely to buy a product. And YouTube makes most of their money from AdSense revenue. Now, this AdSense revenue isn't just random money that spawns from the sky, right? You don't do /give money to YouTube. It is advertisers on AdSense or Google Ads paying YouTube to get spots on the actual shorts feed or long form feed, right? When there is more emotion in the video, the viewers are more likely to purchase a product later, which makes YouTube more money, keeps them on the platform, and creates emotion all at the same time. This is why making your content have changes in emotion is so critical to getting your videos pushed out, right? I've been doing YouTube for 8 years. And in the past 2 years, since I've been implementing this, and in the past couple of months where I've been helping all of my students implement this strategy as well, we have seen results after results of just success, right? You go from $0 to $35,000 a month like that. Same thing applies to this as well. This is so important, right? If you're going to take anything away from this video, take this away and apply it to every aspect of your content creation process. Capiche? All right, awesome. Now, let's talk about this trust score thing because it's pretty important as well. When you are trying to understand what a trust score is, I've had some conversations with people in the space, right? I'm sure you guys have heard this name go around everywhere. Now, I'm not going to say I coined this name, but around 6 months ago when I kind of came into the space and started telling everyone kind of how I run my business model, that's when I saw people start talking about trust score. Now, I have been studying the trust score for years, and before I even had a name for it, I was just doing it. Now, what exactly is a trust score? Imagine a trust score like a credit card score for YouTube. And the more high your score is, the further you will get pushed in the algorithm, right? Trust score is a very important concept to understand when you're trying to grow your channel. And there's all types of things that go into your trust score, like the age of your Gmail, making sure you have all your settings correctly, making sure your safety, making sure YouTube doesn't think you're a bot, making sure you're hitting good KPIs for your videos, right? All of these things are very important for your trust score. There's over 30 different metrics to analyze. Now, usually when I'm talking to people just in general and they're trying to ask me like, okay, well, how do I quantify my trust score? I usually refer them to Satura. Now, what Satura is, it's basically an app that lets you calculate your trust score, right? You can see here, if we actually go to, our trust score section and we see right here, we're actually able to add a channel and calculate the trust score, right? So you'll see here, it's calculating. And within a 14 to 16 seconds on Satura, you'll be able to calculate your trust score to kind of figure out what is going on. And here's why the trust score is important, right? Once you actually calculate your trust score, Satura is going to give you feedback on how to actually increase it, all right? So you can see here, spark more conversation. Engagement is below average. What were we just talking about, right? Engagement creates emotion, which means change in emotion is important. So for this specific channel, right, we can see all the analytics that it's analyzed here, and we can see exactly what we need to improve. Now, usually there would be more things here, but there's also a lot of other stuff we need to do as well. It'll give you basically a huge task list of everything you need to improve, right? And if you improve these things, it increases your trust score, which gets you pushed to the algorithm, right? We've had over 50 students use Satura already, and they have used it, they've implemented it, and they've seen big results in their growth. And I think it's going to help a lot of you guys out. So if you guys want to use it, check out the link in the description, and you'll be able to use it there. Awesome. I hope that kind of helps you guys understand the trust score aspect. I'll just put Satura right here. All right, awesome. Let's go to the next part of this, which is talking about swipe ratio. Now, swipe ratio is very important to be able to scale, because if you don't improve your swipe ratio, no one's going to watch your video, right? I'm sure you guys have heard this before. Maybe if you haven't, it's okay. A good idea is not worth 2 times, 10 times, or even 100 times, but 1,000 times the views compared to an okay idea. This is what Mr. Beast has said, right? Maybe I got that number wrong, but regardless, he said having a good idea makes videos get pushed further. One time, Mr. Beast spent $1 million on a video, right? He was like dumping sand and making an island, and the video was so boring he just scrapped it because that like he realized the idea was bad, and he started focusing more on ideas after this. So the thing is, ideas are a little bit harder with short form content. Now, why is that? Why is ideas harder for short form content? Because what is YouTube on surface level? It is a click and watch platform. YouTube long form is. Short form is a serve and watch platform. They serve you the content. So you substitute ideation, and the idea has to be important, but you substitute the idea for the swipe ratio. If your swipe ratio is good and there's emotion involved and there's a continuous change in emotion, as we have our graph over here, right, then we will have our video pushed out. So swipe ratio is very important. Analyze your swipe ratio every single time you upload a video and make sure you understand what's going on. Is this working? Why is it working? In science, you have to give a hypothesis to why something is working. Even if it's not right, saying a hypothesis gives you the idea or the opportunity to test something, right? I have a hypothesis. I know it sounds cringe, right? Maybe some people are nerds. Dude, I came from a STEM background, all right? I used to be super geeked with math, super geeked with science. All right? I was really good in school. And I implemented this stuff to my own content, right? School's not entirely useless. College is, though. I'm not sure. I wouldn't go to college if I were you. I dropped out, or I didn't drop out, but after high school, I decided to do YouTube, and it ended up just working out. Now we're making like $100,000 a month. Plus equity deals a little over that, but yeah. And besides the point, swipe ratio is really important, all right? So make sure you're giving a hypothesis to why your swipe ratio is doing good or bad. Write something down and test it in your next video. When I upload, you remember I said I upload 5 videos a day on any of these channels, right? When we upload 5 videos a day, I like having 3 videos of something that I know is going to work and 2 videos of testing something, right? The 3-2 method. Have 3 videos of this works. Maybe it's a proven format. Maybe you're copying other people, whatever, right? And 2 videos of test, right? Test with the waters. Try something new. You aren't going to be the best by always replicating and doing the same thing. You have to innovate. Yeah, but lots of sauce in this video, bro. Super happy I talked about this. It feels great, bro. It feels great. Also, side note, I just got this shirt and I really like it. I've like low-key, I've been looking at my camera this entire video. I'm like, I look kind of good in this shirt. All right, but anyways, that's gonna be all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Guys, one more thing. If you want to work with me and you guys want to, I don't know, come and actually. One more thing, also, if you guys want to work with me as well, right? Like you got anything from this video, you want to scale up your channel, and maybe you're making some money already, or you're looking to start. I mean, we take students from $0 to $35,000 a month, or